far here. Youth definitely could prevail, but you have to respect Biado's CV. The lag is close, but it's the youngster who wins it.
Yeah, Phil, and the lag has been a huge part, it seems like, in many matches here on the main table. These leads have
Bernie
held
Regalario
up,
to break.
Bernie, if you've watched him all week, has broke the balls very well.
I'm going to give you one other perk of winning this match as soon as the break-off is complete. Just to put things into perspective, what they're playing for, the winner of this match will move straight to the top of the Reyes Cup rankings.
Yeah, lots of implications, so many different ways, advancing in the World Pool Championships, and of course these guys want to be in that Reyes Cup, you know that. Carlo got a taste of it last year and it was awesome there in the Philippines. And this break, we talked about it with Cledio last night, finding that gap to get at the lowest numbered ball and maybe get the arm started early. Watch out.
Foul stroke, ball in hand.
Yeah, you could tell he hit a little up on the cue ball, therefore
And
didn't get
please
as
stop
much
it.
draw. And what happens with that, he was worried about maybe overdrawing and scratching in the same corner without that kiss on the blue too. Carlo, in his interview last night, he said the break's been up and down for him. I think that's probably why he had so many close matches besides facing so many great opponents. I think these two, out of the four we've had, have had the toughest draws to this point.
Yeah, I wouldn't dispute that at all.
Yeah, I mean, world number one, that's why you get that seeding. And that's why you try to earn those points, is because, not always, but more often than not, you'll never have an easy draw, but in comparison to other players, it may be a little lighter. Now, Carlo, one thing you'll see maybe the difference between him and Bernie when it comes to some unique situations. He's very crafty, playing two-way shots, coming with the big shot. Interesting, he followed that ball there. Didn't think he could improve that much going forward. And now he's just got to pay attention to the black 8. Maybe has to sacrifice a little distance here on the brown 7.
Yeah, and I think one specific area of the game in which Regalario would be superior would be potting from distance.
Well, Filipino players, one of the awesome thing about them is you'll see unique styles from player to player. It's almost also you can tell some of the youngsters that have mimicked their game behind some of the vets, but Bernie, very, very traditional cueing, you may say, and very good setup. We always talk about that early time at the table. So huge. Going to end up a hair short of his mark. So now he's got to make a bit of a decision. I think he probably plays from underneath. Could shoot this with draw and spin the cue ball around with a little inside spin. You could get to that bottom rail. He's going to get a little flick on the 9. Interesting he went that route. So now you figure him to attack with the cross side bank. You think so anyways. And this bank is on the 50 really. I mean, he's really got to cut it quite a bit. So there is no like playing the cue ball somewhat on the bottom rail while banking this cross side.
Carlo Biado wins the first round.
Biado did not want the stress of having to play that bank, but he executed it on the button. So, the older man, who is actually a little more than double the age of his opponent, draws first blood. Lovely shot this, Jeremy.
Yeah, and the speed he played it, you know, it's hard to hang the ball really. He's hoping to miss it on the top side where it filters to the short rail, but he hit it beautifully. The speed was awesome. Very comfortable stroke there from a former world 9-ball champion.
Biado, what a career he's had. Winning so much. That's his route through. Nothing's been easy. He started out, by the way, the one match you don't see there with a win over Jan van Leeuwen from Holland, and even that was a tough first round draw. So he's played, including the one we've just seen, 105 racks. He's won 63 of them, which isn't exactly a commanding strike rate, but it's good enough.
Yeah, I mean,
The second
you know,
rack,
you don't have
Carlo
to
Biado
get
to
the
break.
feeling of those
Leading by one
whitewashes.
rack to nil.
Those don't really matter that much moving forward, other than you played a really good match. But having some of those close ones really may bode well. Nice break off. Cue ball got kissed to the bottom.
What a journey Biado has made. He was a caddy, a golf caddy at the Villamore Air Base in the Philippines, and he used to carry bags in the day and then play pool at night. Began playing at the age of 13. Quickly became very adept.
Yeah, nice speed and a very simple play, but effective. I really like the simple snookers. I mean, of course, you got to be aware of not leaving the object ball over a corner pocket or a side pocket, but defending against the jump. But the snooker early and trying to keep control, that's huge. Does he soft kick this? Yeah, just trying to live to see another shot, that being the Prince. I'm not sure he got the snooker here or not. Okay, now he's looking up table. May have to jump at this. 6-6 really cuts off a lot of the path at the 2 off the bottom cushion. Could swerve it. Not going to get a lot of speed on the swerve though.
Foul stroke. Ball in it.
Well, it was ball in hand on the 2 in the first rack after Regalario scratched.
And
And
please
now it's
start the
ball
shot.
in hand on the 2 in the second rack. And you can see an identical outcome, the way they spread.
Yeah, he was trying to go up and down using both the short cushions to get at that blue 2. And from what I saw, you know, you can't see every match. We're busy here doing a lot of things, but even though Bernie had some close matches, I felt like he had the lead in a lot of them that I got my eyes on, so that won't be the case here. Again, hats off to the team here in Saudi. What a beautiful venue. First-class service for the players. All right, he's going to take a little distance here. So this shot could be a hair odd. It's not the type of shot you want to hit with outside if the pink is froze to the cushion. And inside could be a hair tricky also. Hard to tell with Carlo though. He always cues the ball on the left no matter what he's going to strike, and then he kind of reroutes the cue into the tip position he desires. So that tells me that pink was a little bit off the rail. Little a la Django. Francisco Bustamante does the same exact thing. Now, does he just settle for the corner, or does he try to draw back for the 6 in the side? Either's okay. I like that myself. The 7's pretty accessible.
Just the start he would have wanted. Regalario won't be crestfallen by falling 2 racks adrift. But he won't like the fact he's getting little table time. As Jeremy has said, we've seen a lot of matches on this main table where a player has built a substantial lead and it's held.
Carlo Biado wins the second rack.
He banked the 9 in the first rack. It was just a dolly pot in the second. Carlo Biado 2-0 up. Now after this tournament we go over to the United States of America on the Eastern Seaboard for the Florida Open and US Open. Then the tour goes to Asia, the Hanoi Open. Absolutely terrific atmosphere there. The dates 7 to 12 of October. That's in the Vietnam National Sports Complex, which is a superb venue. Then it's a little further east to the Philippines, the Reyes Cup. As I mentioned before, whoever wins this match will move immediately to the top of the Reyes Cup standings. That's for Team Asia, of course, who are the defending champions there, having beaten Europe in the first edition. This time they will take on the rest of the world. Quite a matchup that. The Ninoy Aquino Stadium in the heart of Metro Manila. That's the thing with the World Nine-Ball Tour right
third
now.
rack. Carlo Biado.
It's all wheels within wheels.
He's leading the match.
Do
by
well in
2
one
racks to
tournament,
none.
you qualify for another. So many incentives. And of course, there is no greater incentive than a $250,000 first prize on offer here tonight.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He's missed the 1. Did make the odd ball. Both players have done that. Tell you, it's going to be hard for him not to pull the trigger on the bank here. When this bank is kind of facing these guys, it's kind of right in front of them, and you know, position is definitely on offer. It's hard not to pull the trigger on it. Could chip the ball and run it, but you don't want to leave a gap between the 3-7 or some kind of jump. I think he goes for this bank to the lower left. Well, no, maybe it looks like he's cueing on the left side.
This is just an observation. The amount of length of table banks we've seen this week, very small on this table, very small indeed.
Yeah, and some of the best bankers in the world, of course, 9-ball players make for that with the straight shooting and the great strokes. But I think even Federer, some things that he said, trying to play super conservative overall in certain situations. But you're right. A lot of times the bank kind of opens things up. Now Bernie, he's had 2 fouls already. Well, the safety decision is going to pay off.
Well, not ball in hand, but almost as good. '17 was Carlo Biado's year. That's when he won the World 9-Ball Championship, overcoming Roland Garcia, another Filipino in the final. He also struck gold that year, beating Jason Shaw in the final of the World Games. Did so well that he was voted Filipino Sportsman of the Year.
Okay, I think the 3 does pass the 7. I believe so anyways. Oh no, it doesn't. See it. He's having to track the cue ball down to what we call short side position. That's a good sign there. Because those shots there, it's all about your talent, just trusting the speed of the stroke.
In 2021, he joined a club of which you'll remember. Jeremy won the US Open, beating Aloysius Schaap in a memorable final. Went behind early, but boy, was he powerful when it mattered. And of course, in 2018, he came very close to emulating Earl Strickland, who's only the 2nd player to successfully defend this title. Lost out in the final to the great Joshua Filler.
Carlo Biado wins the third right.
Very efficient. It is Carlo and Regalario who's got the O as well. 3-0 to the older man.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always
In the Green Halls today, there's a great rhythm, but no blues. Our DJ Hafs is doing a great job. One of the most well-known DJs in the whole of Saudi Arabia. She's been a shining light this week. The DJ position is right behind our commentary box. Wonderful company.
The pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious, mysterious, because you are behind a fake exterior.
DJ
You know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
Yeah, it's obviously going to be a push-out situation. We talked about that at the Open, so we don't know what the rules are. But the problem here is they didn't have locations you want to push out to, but the Brown 7's got you so covered up. Not many destinations you can get to.
I'll always show up and make a statement. Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some modestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but it's
Doesn't want to give Bernie a shot, an offensive shot to get the arm going.
Make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable. Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages of making modern kingdom for the taking.
Now that I've been gone, because they could be your problems.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Carlo wanted to keep on the rail. I wouldn't doubt it. Bernie goes for the 2-ball.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, show up.
Yeah, and that's why Carlo wanted that cue ball to rest on the rail. You know, if he can cue the entire ball with, you know, kind of happy bridging, he's certainly shooting at it, as he should.
You might have thought he undercut that, but that pocket at that speed, at that angle will accommodate.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're cutting the ball, it's much more of a kind of a soft object ball towards the hole, especially at that speed. I was just going to say, we haven't had the most difficult of layouts. A beautiful shot there on the 2 to open this 4th rack. But what usually happens is we get some very doable layouts, and ones that sometimes my compadre here likes to call a roadmap. But as the matches moves on, it usually starts to toughen up, the racks do. I don't know why that is. And we start to get some tricky layouts, a lot of tactical battles. Oh my goodness, now. Kind of let up on it a little bit. Little quick with the backswing.
Out of nowhere.
Man, you talk about one that could have a lot of punishment past this, just this rack alone.
Biado, I'm sure, really surprised. What a gift.
Yeah, and I wonder what's going to happen these next few racks. I think it's pretty obvious what's going to happen here. A lead is going to get extended. Carlo Biado, with all that match history and big moments, I wouldn't say he smells blood just yet, but these players really feed off these mistakes.
Carlo Biado wins 2 rack.
We thought Regalario was going to get on the board. Oh no, instead it is Carlo Biado who extends the lead to a very healthy 4-0. Biado will be feeling so good, and he will when he competes on home soil at the Philippines Open, the inaugural event at the Gateway Mall in Quezon City. That takes place just after the Reyes Cup finishes. The precise dates are October 21 to 26. If you think the Filipinos were good here, and they were brilliant, 17 of them in that 256 player field, there might be 117. And you can guarantee there'll be some players from the Philippines you've never heard of who are excellent.
Yeah, we call it, like back home, kind of like shortstop players that are not quite full-time professionals, but figure the Philippine, the cab drivers probably run out.
Yeah, 17 started out, 10 made the last 32, 7 made the last 16 here, 3 into the quarterfinals, and of course, we are guaranteed 1 in the title showdown this evening.
And it's rack 5. Carlo Biado to break, trailing by 4 racks to 0.
Yeah, the 2's coming up table. We'll see if it gets a pocket. Certainly has a look. I don't see anything offensive, so Bernie should get back to the table. I'll tell you what, he's pretty good with the break so far. Now is he going to bank the 2 straight back down the table? And the cue ball maybe behind the 7 or the pink. There's a gap there, so
Regalario needs to find a catalyst to get going. 4-0 down in a race to 11. I think it would be a stretch to call it a fully blown crisis, but another couple of racks going the other way, and it would be.
Yeah, looks like he's going to attack, or at least that was the original plan. Really not a lot of easy safeties on offer. Could kind of bank the 2 up towards the 9, try and float behind the 3, but now does he cannon into the 3 here, trying to cut the 2? Yeah, it's kind of a so-so sign so far. It was a really thick hit and miss on the green 6 in the last. And that was about 3 or 4 inches away from the pocket here on the blue 2.
The 2 has been the arch enemy of Regalario, the best friend of Biado so far. Mind you, after the last rack, I don't think Regalario is on the best of terms with the 6 either.
Yeah, a little situation here with the pink 4 and the brown 7. I think he caught a little more of the 9 there than he wanted and got a little below the red 3. Now he's got to kind of work the cue ball around the 5 ball, which is just on the left side rail. Can he get short side here? He checked it nicely, but not enough to get by the 8. I tell you, I'd probably keep it really simple here and just push through and go to the rail and up on the 7 as best I can. It's a little nervy shot at a light speed, but any snooker would go a long ways with Bernie having a few struggles early.
Still no spark plug for Regalario. No catalyst.
Yeah, if you notice, both jump shots were heavy also, and you know, back in the day, we just chalked it up. Oh, it's a jump shot. Anything might happen, but these players are so good. I think you can see probably some nerves in that department also.
The one-sided nature of this match continues.
Carlo Biado wins the rack.
Carlo Biado, 8 years removed from being champion of the world, is making a significant step towards getting back to the final. He leads 5-0. Poor old Bernie Regalario must be wondering what he's got to do. Nothing is working.
Yeah, it's definitely been one-sided a few ways. The score line Carlo Biado and, you know, a few continued mistakes from young Bernie.
In situations like this, someone like Francisco Sanchez Ruiz, who was heavily beaten by Regalario last night, 11-4, must be wondering, why didn't he play like this against me? I know it used to drive Stephen Hendry to distraction, the great Scot who dominated snooker in the 90s, when he suffered a shock defeat. If the guy who'd beaten him subsequently played poorly in the next round, he did not like that at all.
Yeah, it's hard to figure though, but it's such a touchy game, and you know, Bernie, who had a match before that match yesterday, so he got his feet wet a little bit early. Each one of these days start over, just like when you wake up in the morning, and so far it hadn't started very well for Regalario.
Does
And it's
5
right
become 6?
Carlo
We'll
Biado to break,
soon find out.
leading 5 minutes.
Nice to see Marcel Eckhart out there refereeing.
I'll tell you, Phil, is this 2 going to get up? I think it is, and the 3's over the pocket, so going to the ad break may be even worse. But what I was going to bring up was me and you that did that late match last night with Cledio Caci and Ali, and if you notice, Carlo's breaking from that same side of the box that Cledio broke from, where we hadn't seen many do that, and he's been very successful with the 1 so far.
Yeah, Caci went 5-0 up before the push-out incident. There was never any chances of pushing out in this one. Just pulling away.
And he just wants a little angle here. Whether he comes up the left side, whether he comes 2 rails between the 5 and 9 to gain position on the 5 for the upper left. Can kind of stun follow a little bit. Just make sure you don't catch the 7. That's if you want to come up the left. I think he probably comes a different route. He's drawing the ball. Wow. This is a little surprising. It's got to open up a little, and it has. And that's a confident play right there. Not only got to get the draw on it, keep the spin. All right, a hair off angle. Really gets through the ball nicely with the follow stroke. Doesn't get a whole lot of bounce off the object ball. It's all about really good timing and tempo.
As they say in England, like shelling peas. For Regalario, it is a nightmare start. For Carlo Biado, it is the perfect introduction. Already, he's more than halfway to a place in the final, with Regalario still to get on the board. 6-0. When it comes to Q Sports, so much interest in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. After this, in a few weeks' time, in this very venue,
He's leading the match by
snooker
6
will
strokes to
arrive with the Saudi Arabia Masters. Massive world ranking tournament featuring every single top player in the game. Now, the spotlight is on 9-ball pool. Oh, and maybe just a glimmer of hope. for young Regalario as Biado breaks dry.
Yeah, usually the cue ball tells the story. It looked pretty good, the path, and it's just a touchy break. Didn't really see much wrong. Didn't get quite the spread. Got a few kisses here and there, but now Bernie with a chance. It's falling nice here. The 3 doesn't pass the 5 there, so he's got nice and straight where he can play the 3 in the lower right. Still got some work though. The 5 to the 6 later on.
Not saying this is the last chance, but it's important he doesn't mess up here.
Yeah, but again, you can see coming off what would be his left side of the purple 5, the 7 gets really involved. So he's going to have to maybe try and hold this to get somewhat straight to draw the cue ball. Is he going to power it back and forth? Yeah, it's going to be okay. Just okay. Doesn't want the cue ball near the cushion. Just a hint of an angle. Now he may just simply get to the center and take the cut on the brown.
Again, far from ideal.
Yeah, this is definitely much thinner than the TV tells us. Good thing the 8's in a very playable position. Just gonna slow down. Is this gonna get snookered? So he's had a couple just halting before the snooker.
He will be so relieved.
Bernie Regalario.
The 8 ball caught an awful lot of the jaw of the middle pocket, but fell, and then the 9 was a formality. And so finally, it took a while, belatedly, Bernie Regalario gets a rack on the board. His deficit now 6-1. The thing is with 9 ball, Jeremy, and especially when the winner breaks rule is in operation, these deficits can be overcome. I'm not going to say it will be, but it can be.
Yeah, absolutely. We haven't seen it much this week, of course, and it certainly happened on the outer tables. We just haven't seen it on the main table. Not that I can really recall, but you know what Bernie's hoping is there's two halves to this match, and he can get that second half started right now.
Actually shortchanged Regalario at the start, saying if he were to win the match, he'd be in the world's top 20. I think he is already. If he wins this match, he'd be inside the world's top 10. Of course, Biado already ensconced there, well inside the top 5. That is the trophy. What a beautiful piece of artwork it is.
The 8th rack. Bernie Regalario.
That would take pride of place in anyone's cabinet.
we heard nothing down. Is the 2 going to help Bernie out? I'd say a little bit, but there's still a rail first shot that I believe Carlo will shoot. Now he's got to decide how to shoot it to get on the blue 2.
Yeah, and these rail first shots, the Filipinos play them with such precision.
Yeah, I think he's feeling good. I think he probably shoots it with speed, tries to come out of the upper left corner and get on the 2 for the upper right. If you ease it, you're still going to have a pretty difficult shot on the 2 from the back cushion, the top cushion that is. And I think the angle sits okay.
Push out cold.
Well, that's surprising. So the rail first must not be on offer.
No, the shot choice tells us
Bernie, it's your choice.
of the lack of availability. And I think this is the kind of situation where, of course, he's not guaranteed to win racks, but Biado does have an edge. All of those years of experience are bound to count for something in this kind of scenario.
Yeah, I truly believe the most vast sport on earth, and that experience does show up. A nice hit. I'm not sure if that's the way he was playing it. I think he was trying to push the 1 down by the 4-7. Now Carlo's got to take one on that he's got to kind of ease a little bit and then take on a long 2 ball. Very good at the kind of the drag stroke, which helps kill the cue ball from distance. Now he's just going to dead roll it, maybe a hair of right English. Now does he draw short side? Does he go forward 2 cushions to the center of the table? To me, I mean, in a perfect world, you go forward. But I would not blame him if he decides to draw it. Wow, he tried to stun it in.
Well, he's stunned Regalario, that's what he's done. That's his weakness, playing at power from distance. He missed it by a mile. Wow, the wages of sin.
Yeah, I think a lot of people miss that shot, though. When that object ball gets out from the rail, even if you have a hint of an angle, very hard to get that much movement. Now, when it's closer to the rail, it's a little different story. Yeah, that was missed by almost a half diamond. Did find the intended pocket, though, somehow, Phil.
Yeah, with shape attached. As if he needed it at 6-1.
Yeah, he didn't need it, but he'll certainly take it. All right. He'll chip this in the side, maybe go around the 6, maybe check it with inside off the top cushion.
Unhappy with that, but it's a resolvable problem, even though he's got somewhat awkward cueing now because of the 8.
Yeah, good thing he's a right-hander.
Well, it's that 6 ball again. In rack 3, Regalario was guilty of missing a sitter. That one was a little tougher, but we're all astounded it stayed on the table.
And again, that got away from the pocket because it was not very close when shot at. Now, kind of a
Extension,
difficult
please.
safety, even though, you know, he can cue nicely and he can see all the 6. There's what you would feel options, but I don't see anything easy. Now, if he's comfortable, he could edge the left side maybe and run the cue ball. Is he cutting this? Or is he trying to run the cue ball behind the 9? Yeah, smart shot. Wasn't trying to make that, I don't think. I think he was doing exactly what we had an outcome of here. Hard to get enough speed on this kick to get safe, really. Yeah, nice effort. Now, do you play behind the 9 with the cue ball, or do you put the 6 behind the 9 with the cue ball and let it run behind the 7-8? Looks like he's going to come off his left side now. He's going maybe behind the 9. This is the one that sells out a bit more if you don't get there. I don't think it's enough speed, is it? Oh, yeah, beautiful. Really good.
Candidate for his best shot of the match so far. It's been an emotional roller coaster, this rack.
Wants to hit the bottom side, slide the cue ball towards the 7-8.
Wow. Again, he puts his hand up, says sorry to Bernie Regalario when he isn't sorry at all. It's just convention.
Yeah.
You have to start the next touch.
That's what we call good, clean living, Phil. Okay, so he's kind of gotten like a little jittery all of a sudden. Maybe that easy miss, but he's got to settle himself down. Good thing is he's really good at pinching the cue ball. So here, even though he's got angle, he doesn't really have to unload.
Playing at slower pace, he's a lot more reliable, and can't imagine the 9 will go astray.
And Carlo Biado wins the rack.
The mini revival of Bernie Regalario was exactly that, mini. Biado, thanks to 2 slices of obvious luck, now leads 7-1. Regalario glum. I think when you were up in the studio with Anna earlier, I heard this match described as a 50-50, and I fully agreed. Not at the moment. The crowd here watching what is right now one-sided, one-way traffic. But you're right, I think there was definite signs of Biado getting a little jittery there in that last rack. Maybe it's the size of his lead, maybe he appreciates the enormity of what he stands to achieve, or maybe it was just the way the rack went.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, him being a veteran, that's one of those boxes you'll check to where you feel like he can kind of talk to himself, reflect on some positive things. And I really feel like it started with the 2 ball that he missed so badly that he fluked. If you notice the shot on the next, he didn't like it, even though it was easy. Kind of like got a little mental for a moment.
Now that is the players' room. 3 beautiful tables in there. And Fedor Gorst is practicing, honing his huge skills. They see the Rasson tables being used. They've just been used in Leicester, England, for the first world ranking snooker event of the season, the Bedvictor Championship League, which was a real success and produced a very high standard because the tables consistently over the 21 days of competition played so well.
All right, there's the 1 down again, and the 2's going to open. So can't say this is punishment. This is really a big reward. after a couple of flukes in the last rack. Should just extend the lead. No real pressure in this rack to start. Very open. I think I've seen a lot of racks on this table, but I feel like, did Carlo just switch sides? I kind of feel like he did. I think he started on the right side of the box and then switched sides to his left for the break shot. We talk about that a lot. You can't be stubborn, right? If you feel like maybe there's some question marks. I've had some question marks on some previous breaks. Don't be afraid. Okay, obviously he wants an angle here on the 6. Doesn't want to be too far away either.
Most comfortable win so far for Biado. 9-4 over Lee Van Corteza in races to 11 here. His most comfortable win, if comfortable is the correct word, 11-7 over Ko Ping Chung. He could shatter that.
Yeah, this is the shot of the rack, really. Yeah, confident stroke. You can hear that clean strike of the cue ball. I was wondering about coming back off that angle. I think he's gotten a little thin here. Actually pretty natural to go back and forth.
It is, but he seemed a little tentative on that shot. Maybe a wee deceleration. Nicely done, though.
Carlo Biado wins C rack.
Lovely job. Carlo Biado all over this. He only needs 3 more racks to return to the World 9-Ball Pool Championship final. 8-1 the advantage. We thought this would be a keenly contested match. It still could be. But Bernie Regalario has to get into gear, and he has to get Carlo Biado off the table. Biado has won 8 of the first 9 racks, 3 more required to become the first player through to the final. Oh, and again, lovely, lovely.
Yeah, again, full punishment early. And then some punishment after a little fortune of a couple of racks ago, and Carlo Biado turning back the years, really, right? A little bit. Maybe it's just turning back from the last year or 18 months, which we haven't heard a lot of results from him here on the World 9-Ball Tour, or seen a lot of results that we're used to seeing. Yeah, that's going to do just fine. And that was a little awkward shot. Queuing next to the 3. Easy to underhit that ball, I think.
Yeah, it doesn't see your shot clock. Just play on, please. 30 seconds, guys.
'24 was a pretty good year for him. Of course, he was part of the Asian team that was so impressive winning the Reyes Cup. Also won the Ho Chi Minh City 9-ball championship and the World 10-ball. As we mentioned right at the start of this match, he won a World 9-ball tour ranking event, the Chinese Taipei Open, beating Regalario in the final, although that was much more of the contest, 13-7.
Yeah, in the last few years, in these big moments, the semifinals, mainly in the finals a few times, we've seen some huge comebacks, but just don't feel that happening here today. Got to get to the table first to make any kind of charge.
Right now you get the sense that the 8th rack, in which Biado was fortunate on more than one occasion, that could be the killer blow.
Carlo Biado
There
wins
is
the
nothing
rack.
better in 9-ball than breaking and running, because it gives you an awful lot of confidence. It keeps your opponent marooned in his chair. Carlo Biado won the first 5 racks, made it 6-0, and now it's 9-1. Surely he can't be beaten from here. Now, this is the crown jewel of 9-ball, the World Championship. As for the most historic event, and one of my personal favourites, the venue is the Harrah's Resort in Atlantic City, New Jersey. It is the US Open. The dates this year, August 18 to 23. And Jeremy Jones, you will be part of the field there as a former champion.
Yeah, why not? I mean, it's my favorite event by far. I love being around these guys, and I don't mind them beating up on me a little bit. Had a little run last year, which was a lot of fun, and hopefully can play fairly respectful this year.
Of course, the US Open has been played in the past in October. Now it's August, and that means when I'm off, Jeremy, I can go upstairs and watch a bit of baseball as well, so it's perfect for me. And the resort as well, Harrah's.
Carlo Biado to break, leading by 9 racks to 1.
Terrific food in there, which I might be partaking of. Just might be.
Yeah, and the fans have really made that event feel really special there at Harrah's in Atlantic City. All right, when they've missed the one, it's been to the low point. But this just kind of shows you how the match is going. And I'm not talking about fortune, it's just talking about opportunity. And he's let a couple slip away, that being Bernie. Now a difficult push out, and the reason why is 2 balls near the 1, so he's not going to push out to something offensive, but easy to give up, you know, a routine tactical play here early. What would that be in rack number 11? I'd look to tie something up here while pushing out to the kick shot. I'm not sure exactly what that would be, but
Push out cold.
yeah, he's not going to push out to the kick, which is probably correct. The kick is so easy. He's going to give up a sliver of the 1, I think, anyways. I'm not sure he did. If he snookered here, I think he gives this back. Now he's looking at the kick. Is there a nice gap to go to the top cushion? Get behind the 1, send it between the 2 and the brown 7 back down table. And the 1's and off the rail, you're going to feel pretty comfortable with this kick shot. He caught it thin. But little things like this.
He's fully deserving his lead. No one is disputing that. But also, he's had luck on his side. That's the way it goes. If you play well, luck tends to follow.
Okay, needs the snooker here with all these balls. If you give him a look at all, it just needs a piece for Carlo to do a lot of damage, and really good stuff there. He's cut off a lot of kicking angles. Feel like Carlo will go to the side cushion that's on the bottom of your screen. Is he going to curve this? Trying to curve it softly using the 8.
Foul
Too
stroke.
much.
Ball in hand.
Surprising he curved there. I mean, obviously felt good about it though.
And please start the shot clock.
Yeah, the cue ball gripped just a little too early. Now we keep saying it, but I will repeat. And I think this really is last chance. Has to take these. Has to get on a heater.
Yeah, these first 3 or 4 are a little tricky.
The only thing you can do in this kind of situation is just keep chipping away. And at the very least, try and put Biado under a degree of pressure.
Yeah, I mean, the only type of luck he needs, he doesn't need to fluke balls or anything, but he's got to get a lot of looks after the break, after getting out here, and you know, that's a bit of luck if you continue to do that. It's the only way we feel like he can overcome this lead.
Bernie Regalario, who wins the rack.
It wasn't a special swerve from Carlo Biado. Then, though, it was a delightful dish from Bernie Regalario. So, his second rack of the day is secured. 9-2, though, still substantial. Especially when you consider it is a race to 11. And I think playing in the first match, especially if he could win it nice and handily, that would give Biado an awful lot of time to prepare for the final. And that in itself is an advantage. Because obviously the lengthiest match on the World 9-Ball Tour all year is the one we're going to see tonight, a race to 15. It's not physical stamina, it's all about the mental stamina. I think if you play first and you win handily, that is definitely in your favour.
Yeah, I think playing first is the advantage no matter what. Just you never know how long a match could take in that second round, and then you got to get right back up.
3 break-in runouts for Biado so far in the match, but not anywhere approaching the 5 consecutive break-in runouts that was achieved by Robbie Capito of Hong Kong on day 1. So I think for him, I don't want to talk down the chances of that being eclipsed, but I think for him, he must feel as though that $10,000 is pretty much in his pocket. Let's put it this way, if he's denied, he'll be sick.
And I believe the rule is, if it's tied, whoever does it later in the tournament gets the cash. I think the 2's going to open up. It does squeeze by the 7. Three's not too far away, so he can kind of just kill the ball. But no room for error here. And confident stroke.
Although the racks have gone pretty much in one direction. I've enjoyed this match. It's been of a good quality.
Yeah, and sometimes when you get behind, the nerves kind of go away when the deficit is this huge. Now he's near the rail. What type of angle, if any, does he have? Is he going away from the 9? Doesn't seem too concerned.
Bernie Regalario wins the rack.
That showed a lot of resolve. The little prince, Bernie Regalario, not waving the white flag just yet. The World 9-Ball Championship trophy that will be awarded to the overall champion this evening. So much interest in cue sports in this part of the world these days. We're on the shores, by the way, of the Red Sea in the sun-kissed port city of Jeddah. The precise location, Green Halls. And there's plenty of greenbacks, US dollars on offer. 250,000 US dollars to the overall winner today. But the chances for Bernie Regalario appear to be just ebbing away.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's the third time he's caught the short point on the break, and the one has trickled towards that corner. Did make the oddball once, and then also a dry break where we saw Carlo have to play a push out. Now, touchy one with the rest there. Now the pink 4, you can see that one's that one he's going to have to play with a nice speed to get into some short side position. Looks like he just he's going to stun forward a little bit. Doesn't feel like rolling the ball.
This spot's no bargain. Nicely done. When you're jacking up like that, and we know about the severity of the middle pockets Have to respect them.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's stunned, though. I thought he would pinch it a little there and play for a little more angle on the 3. I guess the pink 4 goes by the 9 to the lower left. That would help tremendously. Now remember the stun he missed with the slight angle on the 2 ball earlier. Just gonna go a little bit. And he's behind the 6, so huge moment. Took a little gamble there. And I think this mistake all happened with the 2 ball. I think he kind of overlooked proper position on the 3. Now the hit can go a long ways here with that group of balls, but the thing is, don't try to roll it too much. You may not get a rail. Another fluke, and he's opened up the congestion. They say it pays to hit him, Phil.
It's good to be good. It's better to be lucky. He's very good. And in this match, he's been very lucky.
Yeah, I like him taking the extension here and just making sure you regroup on probably the shot to get you to the hill. Hit a little heavy. Is he going to get there? That caught a little left side of the pocket just enough. See it hit the left side. That's why he's a little short with the cue ball. He's overcut this. Just again catching the left side. And it's almost like the fluke is what kind of throws Carlo off a hair. Like seems like he overcut it. Just caught the left knuckle. So good at that. The stun off a small angle.
Carlo Biado, former champion, about to climb onto the hill.
Carlo Biado wins.
And what's more, his young opponent trails by 7 racks. It is 10-3. By the way, our next semi-final will be commentated on by Scott Frost and Carl Boyes. Now, we've schooled Carl, we've had a word with him, we've explained the concept of work. I think it's sunk in, so he should be okay.
Yeah, Carl, one of the best to do it, that's for sure. He'll be entertaining. Him and Scott, they mix really well. And I'll tell you, we've had everything in this match when it comes to the Carlo side. Incredible pool, really solid shot making, good decisions, a few flukes. Might just end it with a golden break, Phil. Why not?
Well, we have seen a match this week where it was concluded with a golden break. Johan Chua against the unfortunate Max Eberle, who gave Chua a really good fight.
Yeah, hats off to Max. Took full advantage of that invitation. And I think Carlos had a couple on the outer tables that I saw. I think one against Chris Melling, and can't remember his other opponent.
Well, I know that our colleague Michael McMullen has commentated on a few golden breaks this week out here in the main arena, but I certainly have not, so that's a little below what we normally expect. I remember one World Masters, we had 15 golden breaks in one tournament. Coming up next, yeah, Fedor Gorsht continues to practice. No sign of Claudio Cacci next. It is Gorsht against Cacci. Presumably, the winner will play Carlo Biado in the final, but he's not quite there yet.
And
Carlo
there it
Biado
is.
wins rack and match.
Jeremy, you called it. It was a golden break and a golden call. Who would have thought it? Just capping what was the perfect match for Carlo Biado. Yes, he played some very nice pool. That is undeniable. But he was also a little fortunate. And there is the final insult to Bernie Regalario. The old golden break into the side. just avoiding the 5, just avoiding the 1. And there's no avoiding the fact that Carlo Biado, the 2017 world champion, now 8 years on, could capture this title again this evening.